Can a billionaire mastermind his own death to protect his empire? In the world of high finance, it's often said that money can buy anything. Power, loyalty, even silence. But in 2005, Brett Kebble's sudden unaliving exposed a tangle web of fraud, corruption, and politics that would shake South Africa's corporate world to its core. This is the story of a mining magnate, a fortune built on lies, and the night he never came home. Brett Kebble wasn't born into poverty. He was one of the sons of Roger Kebble, himself a well-known connected mining figure. From a young age, Brett seemed destined to inherit the family legacy. But unlike many heirs, he had ambitions far beyond simply preserving wealth. By the 1990s, he was positioning himself as a champion of Black economic empowerment, a man eager to present mining as an engine for social transformation. To the public, he was a visionary who promised a new era of shared prosperity. But behind the boardroom doors, a very different picture was forming. Kebble's empire was anchored in companies like JCI Limited and Rand Gold and Exploration. On paper, these companies were thriving. Their balance sheets boasted billions in rands. Their shares soared. But as investigators would later reveal, much of it was only a mirage. Kebble engaged in complex share manipulation, selling shares he didn't own, using company funds to buy back stock and inflate prices, and obscuring losses with creative accounting. Estimates suggested that more than 1.2 billion rands was misappropriated to keep the house of cards from falling. Kebble's defenders said he was simply managing liquidity in volatile markets. His critics called it an outright theft. But there was something more insidious: his connections to political figures. It later emerged that Kebble and his associates funneled millions in donations to the ANC Youth League and other influential organizations. It bought goodwill and it bought time. Still, by 2005, the walls were closing in. Auditors were raising red flags. Investors were growing reckless, and Kebble himself was reportedly under immense pressure. On the evening of 27 September 2005, Brett Kebble left his Johannesburg office and drove into the quiet suburb of Melrose. Somewhere along the way, he pulled over. A gunman approached the car. Moments later, Kebble was shot multiple times at close range. At first, police treated it as a carjacking gone wrong, but the facts didn't add up. Nothing had been stolen. The car was left idling, and within days, rumors swirled. Had Kebble planned his own death? This theory, an assisted suicide, suggested that Kebble knew his empire was about to collapse and that dying would trigger massive insurance payouts to cover debts and protect his network. Glenn Aliotti, an alleged underworld fixer, admitted that Kebble had asked him to arrange the shooting. It was a revelation that stunned the nation. Kebble's death opened a paradox box. Investigators picked apart his finances. Shareholders demanded answers, and in the process, the scandal reached all the way to the top of the police. Jackie Selebi, the National Police Commissioner at the time, was accused of taking bribes from Kebble's associates, including Aliotti. In 2010, Sleepy was convicted of corruption, becoming the first national commissioner to go to prison. Meanwhile, Glenn Aliotti was charged with Kebble's murder, but controversially acquitted after the judge ruled there was no evidence of intent to kill. The companies Kebble had controlled were gutted. Shareholders lost fortunes, and South Africa's faith in the mining sector was badly shaken. Even today, the question lingers: was it suicide or carefully planned execution disguised as a favor? The death of Brett Kebble is more than just a corporate crime story. It's a cautionary tale about unchecked power, the seduction of easy money, and the myth that influence can protect you from consequence. Kebble's fall showed how fragile trust can be and how corruption festers when business and politics become too close. It is also proved that sometimes the biggest scandals aren't hidden in the shadows. They're hidden in plain sight, behind polished boardrooms and generous donations. What do you think? Was Brett Kebble a visionary undone by ambition, or a fraudster who orchestrated his own end? Share your thoughts in the comment below. And if you believe in shining a light on South Africa's hidden histories, subscribe to Crime and Contention. Every week, we uncover the stories behind the scandals. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe, take care.